Hey everybody, it's your girl Venus Fly, and you're watching Serious Soul. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Kevan Glover. He is the founder of Konnected magazine and the Queen City Music Awards. Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Glover.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Man, from Buffalo, New York. Been down here since 2000. You know, we created the Konnected organization as a whole, from the magazine to the foundation. We do a lot of marketing and consulting for people. A lot of event planning, giving back to the community. Most people know us for our award show, the Queen City Awards, which is in its 12th year now. Last year we recognized Anthony Hamilton, gave away 25 scholarships to kids so they could attend Alvin Ailey. So we do a lot of different things in the community and through entertainment.
Okay, now the Konnected organization, you have a foundation, you have a magazine, I know you have a radio
station.
Tell us a little bit about why you started the Konnected organization.
My big thing was we don't own anything for the most part. You know, so you have the underground and you have the mainstream. And the mainstream is owned by a bunch of other people that's not our culture.
Right.
So I wanted to create something where we could have our own situation, where we could be a medium ground between the indie and the mainstream. So, you know, we started the radio stations, the magazines, the tours, everything, so we could self-sustain what we're doing. Jay-Z is really doing it right now too, with like the title and all that stuff. He just happens to have a lot more connections and money to be able to really make it make sense, whatever. But he's actually doing what we've been doing for like 13 years now. To be able to kind of take control back of what we created. You know, I tell people all the time, if you give your baby to someone for the summer and they sell drugs and all that, then when they come back selling drugs, smoking weed, you can't really get mad because you knew what you gave the baby to. I think that's why Russell Simmons do as much yoga as he do. You know, when he gave away Def Jam, it kind of changed the whole direction of hip hop.
Right. So the Queen City Music Awards, first of all, I want to say thank you for starting something that would recognize local artists, and thank you for giving back, because a lot of people will do something but they don't think about giving back to the community as much as they should. What was your motivation behind the Queen City Music Awards, and why did you choose Charlotte?
Wow, to back up a little, I came down here to visit my friend. He went to Smith.
Okay.
When I came down here and I visited, I was like, man, I really like the area. I see a lot of potential. Of course, in 2000, it was a lot slower than it is now, whatever, but I just seen a lot of potential. So when we moved down, he did hip hop. And I noticed everything was kind of like trap music or real Southern, and they weren't as receptive to hip hop. So I was like, well, I could start a hip hop showcase, you know, just kind of playing it and doing it, and it went well. Then we went to the Konnected tours where we were taking people on tour. And then I was just like, hey, we need to reward these people at the end of the year. And we created the Queen City Awards. And, you know, 12 years later, we on TV and did a lot of great things and being able to give back to the community.
And when is the next show that you have coming up?
The next award show?
Award show.
December 15th.
Okay.
Yeah, December 15th.
Any special guests that we should?
We're working on a couple people now, you know, with it being kind of far away. A lot of people don't commit this early.
Right.
So around, you know, September is when we started getting everybody kind of finalized.
Now, how can people get in contact with you if they want to find information about you or contact you about either being a part of something of the music awards or your Konnected organization?
Really with the award show, it's they go to our website, queencityawards.com. It's a contact us type thing. I try to take it off me as much, you know, because we have a staff of people.
Right.
And then with the foundation, they could go to the Konnected Foundation Inc. with the K.com. And it's a contact on there as well. So just depending on what side you're trying to be on, whether it's the entertainment side of the foundation, we have websites for them to go on.
Now, I know you do stuff for the kids too.
Yes.
You have a program called Spark.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, Spark was something that we created, socialized play to accommodate, to reach kids. So a lot of kids aren't the typical learners from textbooks. So sometimes, with us, especially with us being entertainment, they see us with the celebrities and stuff, so they're more receptive to us than a teacher, because I guess we appear to be a little more cooler than the traditional teachers. So we came up with different ways to be able to make the kids learn, but also in return help them out with their passion is. Some people love to sing, some people love to do poetry, some people love ballet. So that was a way for us to create scholarships in order to get them to see, hey, these people really care, they look like us, they're coming back and they're giving back. And we reward them in a lot of different ways to be able to come out and, stay focused on what they need to learn, which is they definitely need education.
Okay. Now, if someone wants to get in contact with you about that or be a part of your program, how would they reach you?
Yeah, and that one I would just go, like I said, on the Konnected Foundation, Inc.com, and all the stuff on there to volunteer and things of that nature. Or you have a kid that's very talented and want to get put in a program.
Okay.
Information on there.
Now, there's one question that I know you're passionate about, and I know you've been asked this before. So, going back to the music awards and the hip hop, what is your take on hip hop today?
Like I said, when you give somebody else your kid and they don't mean it any good, that's what it's morphed into. A lot of people think, older generations kind of hate or whatever. It's not necessarily hate. It's like you have street basketball and you have the NBA.
Right.
A lot of these cats would even make street basketball. At some point, you have to have some talent. You look at Love and Hip Hop. There's no hip hop being done on Love and Hip Hop. So it's like we've become a race of imposters for the most part. Whereas, you don't have to have talent. Imagine watching a basketball game and nobody can make a shot. That's what hip hop is right now.
Right.
It's like nobody can really make a shot for the most part. They just running up and down the court. And at some point, you have to just call it what it is. It's not entertaining.
Right.
But I don't hate on anybody not getting their money and being able to feed their family. But you have to have some type of balance. Remember, you had Outkast on the radio, you had Nas, you had Jay-Z, you had NWA, you had a variety. Now it's like if you just don't talk about drugs and being a drug user, you can't get on the radio.
If you could bring back one hip hop artist from back in the day, who would it be?
Tupac is not even close. Like, that dude that's that dude. And like I said, he was still alive, it would be a lot different because he's one that would speak up on what's going on. Everybody else, just as long as they're making their money, and this is our community in general, as long as you're making your money, you don't care about what's going on outside your household. Mm-hmm. And, when we had less, we were more united.
Well, I certainly appreciate you joining us today.
I appreciate you having me.
You're so welcome. And again, thank you for what you're doing in the community. We appreciate you.
And thank you for the different type of platforms you guys provide.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're watching Serious Soul. Again, this is Mr. Kevan Glover, and we'll be right back.